Hey, all of you, hope you guys are great. So I hope you guys are enjoying this project. So this is where we left in the last video. So let's start working on it. So come back to the component, and here you can see that our application is working fine. So we had couple of issue in the last video and our sidebar was not working. So I fixed the issue. I found that I made a little mistakes, which I'm going to show you that what are the fix you have to do. You can see we have this dynamic data and we have fixed this as well. So I'll show you that what are the changes you have to do in your code to make your sidebar work. So come back here in the chat and go back to the first chat, and here we have to do the changes. So here we are in the chat component, and here I made this mistake. So this is the one. First you have to say tab index with small I, not a capital I. So that's the first change you have to do. So this is the first change. Now simply close this one and come back into the sidebar section, and here we have to do a lot of changes. So first you have to make this BS, not DS. So I made this DS, and because of that it was not working. So make sure to make it BS in all the places. So here I have done the changes BS and do all the places. So this is called BS. You can see I have written the keyword called change, and this one is also BS and BS and BS, and that's the only change you have to do here in the sidebar. Close this one and come back to the chat, and let me show you the text. So here you can see our sidebar is working absolutely fine. And now let's do this. Okay, you can see that here we say ask social media chatbot, and let's show that particular message. So if I scroll all the way down here, you can see that here we are displaying the free left. So earlier it was free /0, and all you have to do is to add this /5. So you will have that bracket, that 0 and 5 left. And here you have to do the one more change here, active. So right now here you have to say ft equal to the ask anything, then we have to say empty, otherwise we have to say ask, and you have to pass the active state and the text. So these are the changes you have to do, and that will work absolutely fine. You can see you can able to display all the name of the selected feature, and our sidebar is also working fine, and we can close. So make sure to do all of these changes, and your sidebar, the application will work absolutely fine. Close this one, and now we can start working on our history component. So this is where we left in the last video, and now we're going to start working on it. So what we can do, come here, we'll take a div. It will have a class called main section. Inside that we'll take a div. It will have a class called container, card, and padding 0. Inside that we'll take a div. It will have a class called card header. Inside that we'll take h3. It will have a class called text white, and in that we have to say detail history. In that we'll take the form. It will have a class called auth form, have a class called detail none, and we'll have d medium block. Remove this action. Inside that take a div. It will have a class called form group. Inside that we'll take our icon, and it will have a data icon is gonna be called search normal 2. Come here, we'll take a input field. It will have a class called form control, text is going to be, type is going to be search, and placeholder will say search here. Save it, and this is how it will look. You can see this is the detailed history, and we have this input field. Looks good. We'll take a div. It will have a class called card body, padding x small 4 pixels and 3 pixels. We'll take a UL. It will have a class called history section, and inside that we'll take our dynamic block. So we'll take a couple of array, and you can simply take your dynamic array, but I'm going to go with the hardcore data. We'll take a map. It will take the element I, and it's going to be instant return. So we'll take a li. It will have a class called, let's take a li, and let's assign a key, and we have to assign a class called, we'll say history main. Inside that we'll take a div. It will have a class called history detail text. Then we have a text tranche, and we'll have an icon 6, and we'll have this data icon, and will be the message text. Come here, we'll take a div. It will have a p tag. We'll say what is app development. We'll take another p tag and it will have a class called d small none and d inline block. Inside that, we'll take our text 2 minutes ago. We'll display the timestamp, and we can come here. We'll take a div. It will have a class called history time, d medium flex, and d none. Let's come here and provide this space. Come here, and we'll take a UL. It will have a li, and in that we'll say chat, and here we'll display the time 2 minutes ago, and save it. And you can see we have all the question. You can simply feed the data from your contract, or you can take a data as an array and you can render that, but I will go with this hardcore data. Come here, our tabs are working fine. If you look at the responsiveness, so this is how it looks. We have to fix this icon as well, which we will do together. Just wait. You can see we can open and you can close. That looks pretty good. Come here, come to this, let's do the inspect element, and here we have all the components. You can see, so we have to work on the components. Click on that, let's do the inspect element, and let's try to click on that. Okay, it's not working, and this one is also not working, so we have to fix this as well. Come back to the transaction. If I do the inspect element, you can see this one is working fine, but our chat one is not working, and the rest components are looking fine. So we have to do a little bit changes. Come back here in the chat and looks good. Let's do one thing. Let's work on the membership. We'll fix this little bugs later. Now what we can do, close this one, and we have to import couple of things. We have to import the icons, and that's coming from the React icons /md, and let's do the internal import, and we have to import our call context. We'll say use state context. We'll come here, and from that we'll get the, so we'll call it contract membership, and that will have all the memberships, and we'll call the buy membership function. So these are the two things we are getting from our context. Now let's create a function called const call membership, and in that we're going to call our buy function memberships, and it will say async membership id. Let's make it capital S, and inside that we can simply come here. We can take a variable const book membership, and we have to simply call our function buy membership, and we have to pass the id. In that way user can buy the membership. Now we can simply remove that one, and what we can do is we are here in the subscription, so we can do one thing. We'll take a div. It will have a class, but instead of writing, we have already built the structure. So let's assign a class table. So actually we have built this table classes. So what we can do, come back here in the history, and we have all of this HTML we have written. So we can simply take this entire one. Okay, so you can pick this. So we have this header, so we have this main section. So if I come back to the history, this is the one we have. We need the header as well. So what we can do is simply copy, not copy the entire one, come back here, and we have to copy the entire JSX part. Simply copy that one and come here, and that's what we have to simply paste here. And here we have to do the changes. So right now you can see our icon is not there, so we have to get our icon. So close this one, and we're gonna simply remove this one because we don't need our, still we are getting that error message, and here we have this issue. So simply do one thing. So we copy this one, and we have to import the icon. So simply paste here and save it, and now you can see we have no issue. Now if you click on this membership, nothing is displaying. Okay, that's not good. This one is okay, this one okay, so no more error we have. And here we have to do the changes. So here you can see we are in the history, close that one, and here we have to simply change the id. So this will be called subscription, and this will display this particular component. Copy and paste here, and this will fix the issue. Save it, come back here, and if you come back to the membership, you can see here we have that membership. Now all we have to do is to change this data and render the component. Looks good, no issues we have. Now we have to do the changes in the text. So come here, change this to subscription, So that's our header section, and here we have to change this. So we'll say, let's call it something like choose period of plan, and that looks good. And now we can start working on our simply component. So we do need this form. You can, but I just want to remove this because I don't need this. Now it looks good. Now let's write the JSX. So we'll take a div and we'll have a class header options d none t medium flex. We'll take a label. It will have a class called form label. Then we'll have a text white. We'll remove this and we'll take a normal for. We'll take a for, and we have to assign the name. So we'll say currency, and inside that we have to give the name. We'll say currency, save it. We'll come here, and here we're going to take a selection. We'll take this select, and we have to assign the class name, and we call it for select form select, and we have to assign this area label. It's going to be our default select example, and we'll have this our ID is going to be currency. So you can see we have this drop down currency and the box, and inside the select we have to display our options. We'll take this option, we'll have to assign the default value. So remove this one, this will say selected by default US dollar, and we'll give two more currency. So we'll take this option and we'll say one, and this will be euro. Then we have to simply replicate this, and this will be our yarn, and this will be 2. Save it, and that will display our option. Click on that, and here you will have that. Looks pretty good. So this is the header section of our subscription. Now we have to work on the card components. So come here, we'll say card membership. In that we'll take a div. It will have a card body, then we'll have this pixels small 4 pixels, and we'll have this. We'll take a div. It will have a class called row, and we'll have a justify content center. Inside that we'll take our dynamic block, and we'll take this contract membership, because the data will come from the contract and it will be stored in this variable. This is the one variable we are exporting for our index file from the context, and that's what we have to render. Membership, and we have to intensely return that one. We'll take a div. It will have a class first assign a class, then we have to assign a class called column XL 4, column medium 6, and we'll have this column 12. Inside that we'll take a div. It will have a card called it will have a class called card and inner card. Inside that we'll take a div. It will have a class called card header. In that we'll take the image. It will have a class called image fluid, and we have to provide the source of the image, so it's coming from the asset folder, and we'll say pricing slash, and this one will going to be a dynamic one because we are displaying the 3 different pricing and 3 different icon. Now we have to take this template tutorial, and we have to simply say membership equal if membership with dash name equal to 1 month, then we have to display the different ones. So if I come back here in the index, let me show you what I'm talking about. So here in the membership, not here in the fetch data, we have this user membership and we have this contract membership. So that's what we're trying to render. So it's with a small, okay, copy that one, and that's what we have to simply render. If it's equal to the 1 month, then we have to display a different icon. So that's the logic we are building here. So let's quickly do the same thing for all that 3 plans. So we'll say if is equal to 1 month, then we have to display this weekly CSV file, and if it's equal to 6 months, so we'll say name equal to 6 month, then we have to display our different CSV icon. So we have to take this, come here, we'll take this and we'll say monthly CSV, else we have to say yearly CSV. So that's our dynamic images, and the rest would be fine. Now we can come here, we'll take a h4. It will have a class called text white, and we'll have margin bottom 0, and inside that we have to display the name of the membership. Then we can come here, and here we have to display the feature you want to provide. So we'll take a div, it will have a class called card body, and inside that we'll take a h3 and we'll display the name of the plan, name of the cost. So this is the one we are simply passing here, so the cost, and then we'll take a ul and we'll take a li, and in that we have to display that what are the things you're going to provide. So I will just say intelligent AI chatbot. It's totally up to you to highlight here that what you're going to provide. So simply replicate couple of times. So I will go with 5, not more than that, and simply come here, we'll take our button used to buy that. So we'll take select plan, and it will have an on click function, and we have to simply call the function we have created above. So this is the function we have called call membership, and in that we have to pass the id. Save it. So simply copy that one and come here, and here we have to change this to small, and this one is also small. So that's the only thing we have to do here. So these are the one thing we have, and now we have to simply call select this plan, and now we can simply come here and we can simply display a short div. So we'll take a div, it will have a class called subscription, continue. Inside that we'll take a button, we'll say no select plan, and we'll say select plan. Inside that we'll say continue, and we'll have a href, and we'll display our small text message. We'll say continue with limited version. Save it, and if you reload the browser, you can see if you come back here, and here it's displaying. So we have this, we have the drop down, we have the continue, and right now we don't have the plans because we haven't deployed our contract, so that's why it's not displaying. But you can change this. So what I will do is I'll simply replicate this and comment this one, and for the timing let's take a hard-coded data, an array. So remove this one and take an array 1 2 3 and save it. And if you save, if you come back to the, and the rest would be fine, don't need to do anything in here. If you come here, you can see everything is working fine. So all we have to do is to actually pass the actual data in the components, and it will render. Okay, so we are done with this 3 component. Looks so far so good, no issue we have here. Now we have to come back here in the questions. This model component is also done, so only 2 components are left, help and the setting one. So simply do one thing, close this one, come back here, and now we have to work on our, let's say, help, and here we're going to simply start working. So let's come back here, looks pretty good. Now close this one. First we have to import couple of things. So we have to import the icon, which is a md paid, and that's coming from react/md, and we have to simply remove that one, and we'll take a div, it will have a class called, actually we have to have the same header component. Okay, so we come here and we have already built the structure. So come back to the history, and we have to get this entire one. Simply copy that one, come here, and that's what we have to simply paste here. And now we have to do the changes. So we have to change the id, this will be help, this one will also help, so it will open our component. Save it, and now you can see if you click on this, working fine, and if you click on this question, it will open this history. And now we have to simply change this data. So what we can do, we can come here, we can change this to FAQ, and this will be also the main container. Simply remove that one, we don't need that. Save it, and here you can see that's how our FAQ section look. Now we're going to build this. So what we can do, simply come here, we'll take a div, it will have a class called FAQ section main section. Inside that we'll take a div, it will have a class called container and card and padding 0. Then we'll take a div, it will have a class called card header. Inside that we'll take a h3 and we'll say text white and title basic, and we'll have AOS in and AOS animate. Inside that we'll have to simply provide the data AOS, and that will call duration is going to be, let's say, 1000, and we have to add the delay as well, and the delay is going to be 100. Looks good. Come here, we'll take this FAQ. So that looks pretty good. Now we can simply come here, we'll take a div, it will have a class called card body, and we'll take the padding x small 4 pixels, then padding x 3 pixels, then we'll take div, it will have a class called coordination, and it will have an id called coordination panel stay open example. Inside that we'll take an array, and we have to simply loop over it, the same structure we are following here. So we'll take a div, we'll have a class called coordination items and AOS for init for the animations, and we'll say animate. It will have a data AOS, and we have to assign the fed up, and copy this and paste it because we have to display the duration and the delay. So that looks good, and this will be a dynamic one. So this will be yi 1 plus I. Inside that we'll take a h2, it will have a class called nation header. Inside it will have an id, we'll say panel style, not style, we have to say panel stay open heading 1, and inside that we have to simply come here, we need the button, so we need to find that. So where it is, come back here in the sidebar and simply get this button, copy that one, come here in the help section, and that's what we have to simply pass here. So inside this h2 we have to simply pass it, and here we have to do the changes. Remove the icon first, and here we have to remove a couple of things. So come here, we'll take this data cursor is gonna be a pointer, and we have to remove this class. This will call coordinate button, and this will be the same, and we can come here, we have to take this id, and that's what we have to provide here. And the same thing we have to do for the control. So we'll say collapse 1, and we'll change this true, and this will copy and provide this to here, and we don't need this label, remove that. So that's the entire button we have. Inside that we'll say is the content unique, you can display as many questions as you want as a form of array, but this is what I'm going to render. Question is there, now we have to display the answer. We can simply come here, we'll take a div, it will have a class coordinations collapse, and we'll have an id this and passed here. Then we can take this aerial label by, and we have to simply copy this heading and paste here, simply copy and simply open this one, and in that we'll take a div, it will have a class called body. In that we have to assign this p and take this some demo text. That looks good. On click when you are opening and closing the components, looks pretty good. So all the components are working fine. You can see this we have that one, then this is the questions, this is the models, and now the only component we have left is the setting one. So this one is also looking good. So this is the only component is left. So close this one, and now we can start working on the last component on the setting. So we can take this, so come back here in the setting. Now we have to import couple of things. We need use state and use effect. Then we have to import our paid icon, that's coming from the react/md. Then we have to do the internal import. We'll say import, and that's coming from our context. We'll say use state context. We'll come here and we'll take couple of variables. So we'll take this user. Now take another one, and this time we are getting some information from our context. So let's call the user membership. So this is the data we are exporting. So if you come back here in the context, open that one, you will find here we are simply splitting the entire data to our user member, and that's what we are simply using here. So we can display in the user account page, and that's the user information we have. Then we have to take a couple of state variable. Then we'll take a use user effect, and in that we have to simply get the information from our local storage. So we'll say local storage get item, we'll say user detail, and this is the information we have to store in our user data. So what we have to first parse the data, and then we have to simply set the data to our user variable. So we'll say if object that name, if we have the object in the state in the local storage, then we have to update this if statement. So with this if statement, what we are doing, that we are checking that if parse object means user name is there in the local storage, means the user have created their account or he or she has bought any plan, then only we have to simply update our state variable. So that's the condition we have here, and then we have to simply pass the entire object, the updating the data from the local storage to our user variable. Now we have to simply build a couple of functions. So first we have to take let's say user state, we have to take a couple of variable, and this will say new, because when the user will update his data, we have to take that information and we have to update the user information. So we have to take the name. So first we'll check that whether the name is available in the local storage or not. Then we have the surname, then we have the email. If email is there, then take the email, otherwise empty string. Then we'll take the password. If we have the password, then put that, otherwise empty string, and then we have the password confirm. So that's the simple condition we have built here. So first we have to check the data is available in the local storage. If it's available, then we have to simply set that, otherwise we're going to update this with a function. So come here, let's build a function called handle form field change, and in that we have to simply pass the field name and event, and this will simply set the user information. So we'll say set user, we have to deconstruct the array, and then we have to simply pass the field name e target dot value. So this will update the value. All we have to do is to call this particular function in the input field. Then come here, we'll take this update user, and user can call this function to store the data in the local storage. So we'll say const JSON object. First we have to say get the stringify the entire data. We'll take this user new, then we have to simply set the data in the local storage by calling set item, and we have to provide the key. So this will be user detail, and this will be JSON object, and then we have to simply reload the browser. That's set. So this is the update user function. So if you come back here in the subscription, we have to get this entire div. Come here, and that's what we have to simply paste here as a JSX. And now we have to do the change in the ID. So this will call setting, and we have to pass here setting as well. Now if you come here, if you change the tabs, you can see here we are in the setting and we have this. So we have to do the changes here. So we have to display the user information. So what we can do, let's change this to something like setting, and this will be same. And here we have this choose period, we'll say my account, and we can take this and remove this. Actually we don't need this, remove this one. This looks good. Now we have to remove this as well, and we have to remove this as well. The only thing we have left is this. And now if you simply come here, close this one, and you can see right now our account is looking pretty fine, no issues we have here. So simply come here, inside this we have to take a div. It will have a class called my account. Inside that we'll take a div. It will have a class called user detail. Then we'll take a div, we say user main. Inside that we'll take a div. It will have called user profile. Inside that we'll take an image, and we have to provide the source, and this is the image I want to take, the blockchain coder JPG, and it will have a class called image fluid, and save it. If you save that, things looks good. Now we have to take here icon. It will have a class, and we have to say data icon, and we have to provide the icon class. So we'll say camera, save it. Come here, we'll take a div. It will have a class called user option. Inside that we'll take a h4, and we'll display the user name. Again, this data is available in the local storage. From there we are fetching. Every time page will load, this data will fetch from the local storage, and it will be available in the form of object. and that's the data we are passing here. Then we'll take this para, and in that we'll display the user email ID. Save it. Come here. We'll take a form. It will have a class called msgr input area, and it will have a class called md0. We'll remove this action. Inside that, we'll take a div. It will have a class called row. Inside that, we'll take a div. It will have a class called column small 6, call 12. Inside that, we'll take a div. It will have a margin bottom 3, and we'll have this label. We'll take this form, and we have to assign a name, first name, and it will have a class called form label. Inside that, we have to give the name. We'll call it first name. So simply come here. We have to take an input. It will have a class called msgr input, and type is going to be email. This will be id, first name, and it will have a placeholder. So the placeholder will display because the data is already available to us. So we'll say user name, and it will have a on change function, and the function we have built. So we'll say handle form field. In that, we have to pass the name, and we have to pass the event. So in that way, the data would be updated in our state variable, and in that, if a user wants to re-update the data, they can call the function, and the data would be available. So it looks pretty good. So first, this is the first input field we have. Now all we have to do is to replicate this couple of times, because we are displaying 3 times. Okay, name, email, and surname. So change this to last, and this will be the last as well. Copy that one, and that's what we have to pass here. And this will be surname. Change here, copy and paste, and here we have to do the changes. So this will be called email id, copy and paste here, and change it to email address, and here we'll say email and save it. And so this is the entire first section we have in our component. Now we can come here. We have to take the button. We'll take a div. It will have a class called footer. Inside that, we'll take a div with class setting button. Inside that, we'll take a button, and it will have a class called select plan. It will have an on click function, and in that we have to simply call our update user function. So that will update the data. We'll say update, and we'll have a one button for the cancel, just for showing. So we'll say cancel, and here we have to simply remove this one, and this one is not selected, so we have to use a different class on. So come here, we'll take a select plan, and we'll say bring it back. We'll say on, copy this one, we'll say on and select plan. So save it, and here you can see we have all the component, the hero section, the image, and the components looking absolutely fine. So far things are looking great, no issues we are having. We can simply come here, and now we can work on the other section. So this is the second component. So this is the first component. Now we have to build a component where we can display the user selected plan data. So if user have bought a plan, then we'll display this component, and this one is a dynamic one, otherwise we have to hide it. So we'll take a dynamic block. We'll say user memberships, means user membership is there, and user membership id not equal to 0, then we have to simply display this. So we'll take a div. It will have a class called container and padding 0. Inside that, we'll take a div. It will have a class called card header. Inside that, we'll take a h3. It will have a text class called text white, and we'll display our message membership. Okay, that looks good, and that's good, but sticking to the up. So we'll say 2. So let's bring it back. We'll see what's the matter with that. So looking good. So let's come here. Now we have to simply put the components. So we have already built that one. So what I will do is, so this is the 3 one. Let's come here. Let's take a div. It will have a class called card body, and we'll have a pixels small 4 pixels x3. Inside that, we'll take a div. It will have a class called my account. Inside that, so I have already built this particular one. So let's have a look where we have built that. So here we have the form component. Here we have that my account. Simply copy, and that's what we have to simply paste here. So you can see it looks pretty good. Now we have to do a changes, because we don't need the banner. Come here, and we have to simply remove this portion. So here we have the information. So this is the first, second, third, and we need two more. This is fourth and this is the five. Now we have to simply change the data. So we have this five where we can display the information about the plan which user have bought it. So that looks good. Now simply reload the browser. We are not having any issue. You can see all the tabs are working absolutely fine. Pricing and setting. Now we can come here. Let's make a big, and now we have to do the changes. So you can see here we have main section, and here we have to assign a couple of classes to assign like couple of classes here. So first class we'll assign this D flex, and we'll say gap 4 pixels, and we'll say flex column, and that's the only thing you have to write. And you can see we have this space from the top, the gap we have. Now this looks pretty good. All we have to do is to update this entire information in the input field. So what we can do is come back here in the my account, and here we have to change the information. So here we have this first name, we call it something like membership plan, and remove this on change function, and here we have to display the user membership plan which user have taken. If it's membership equal to 1, then we have to display the 1 month, but if membership ID is to 2, then we have to display the 6 month, but if it's 3, then we have to display the a year plan. So that's the simple logic we have. We'll say 1 year and save it, otherwise empty. So that looks pretty good. No issues we have here. You can see right out not displaying, but it will display when we'll have the actual data in our membership. And here we have to do the changes. This will call the membership cost, and here we have to remove this, copy this one, and here we have to display the same thing, copy, and this will be our 1 Matty if for 1 month, ID is 1, 2 Matty, and this one is going to be 5. Then we have the email address. We have to simply remove this to ID, and we'll simply remove this one, and here we have to display the ID of the membership. So every single membership will have an ID, and that's the one we have to assign. Now we have this email address. This will call membership expire. So when the membership will expire, and here we have to display that information. We'll take this template data. We'll say membership dot expired. So expired. Let's come back here and let's see what we have called. And if I come here we have this user memberships, and this is what I have called. This is the ID, this is the expire date. Copy that one, and that's what we have to simply say, not with capital D, small d. We got the expire, and else we have to display the empty string. Looks good. And here is same membership expire. Now we have to display the one more, which is the user address, the one who have taken the membership. We'll say address, remove this one, and here we have to display the user address user, copy, and simply paste it. And that's our membership component. Looks good. So now we can come here and we have to build take a div, and it will have a container called card padding 0, and that we have to take our card header. Inside that we'll take this h3, we'll say text white, and we'll say change password, and we'll take this card body. It will have a class called padding x small 4 and padding x3. Inside that we'll take a div. It will have a call my account, and inside that we have to simply display the form input. So come back here and we have to get that, simply copy and paste here, and now we have to simply remove. So right now we have this 5, we have to display 2 input field and button. So simply close this one, and let's close this and close, not this, this one, and we have to remove this 3 extra input field. So save it, and here we have this 2. Now we can simply change this to like change password or new password. This will call new password, And here we have to simply remove this one, and we'll pass the placeholder to, let's say, call new password. And the same thing we have to do for the other input field with the confirm password. So come here, close this one and copy this one, because we have to update the password as well. So simply pass this on change function and we have to say password, and that's what we are simply updating. Simply copy and come here and simply paste here and simply remove this one, and this will say confirm password, and we have to pass here confirm password. So simply we are updating our, and this will say confirm password. So now both the things are looking fine. Now we have to build the button so user can click and update their password. Take a div, it will have a class called card footer. We'll take a div, it will have a class called setting button. Inside that we'll take a button with a class called select plan, and it will have an on click function. We'll say update user, in that we'll say update user, and we'll say password, copy and paste, and this will call the clear. Simply remove that one and remove this. We'll say cancel, and we'll say no selected plan. Save it, and if you come back here we have that. So things are looking fine, and this is the component we have built for the setting, so user can paste the address. And if I click on this update, the browser will reload, but come here and you can see, okay, something's wrong, and you can see the data is not reflecting here. If we do the inspect element, we can see that what's went wrong. Let's come back to the local storage, and here the data is storing, but it's storing as an empty object. We have no information, so something's wrong in our local update data function. So reload the browser one more time, and again we have the same scenario here. All the components are opening, closing fine. Okay, all that is working. Come back in the, do the inspect element. Let's try one more time, and this one is also not working, and this one is also not working. So these are the two fixes we have to do. So close this one, and but these are the things are looking fine. So come back here and come back to the code. I was stuck for a while, close to half an hour, and I was trying to find out that what's problem we have, and finally I found the bug. So let me show you that I have fixed that bug and how you can fix that. So let's come back here, and you can see right now it's working. If you can click, you can open that one, and you can click on this and it will also open. So these are the fix which I will show you, and the function which allows us to update our information in the local storage. We had a problem in that, and these tabs are working fine. This looks good. We can tab and we can go to different places, but we have also a problem in this icon and the logo which is not displaying, which I will show you how you can fix that. So first thing, you have to come back here in the chat. In the same problem we have, instead of BS I type DS. So that's the change you have to do here. You can see BS, and come here, and here you can see here I have done the changes. It's BS, not DS. So this is the change you have to do here in the chat, and that will open the top menu. Now if you scroll the way down, we have to do the changes in our form element. So if I click on that, come back to the chat, and if I click on this one is opening. So for that we have to do the changes in the form component. Click on that, and here we have to do the changes. It's BS, not DS. So if you do all of these changes, your navigation will work fine, and you can open and you can close, you can tap. And this is the fix I have done in the history. Again, I will show you that what are the changes you have to do. So here I am in the history component. So make sure to comment this particular icon, remove this one, and here we have to paste our icon in the menu. So first you have to import, and then you have to call the icon, and here you have to change the image name. So here we are using different image, so assets/csv logo /icon. So this is the name you have to give. It was logo only. So make sure to simply come here, do the changes here in the history component, and your icon will display fine. And here you have to change this particular class. So it's navbar, toggler, d, medium, none, and d block. So this is the class you have to provide to your button, and that's how the navigation menu would look like. But if you come back to the subscriptions, I haven't done the changes here, so you can see we have some issue here, and that's what I'm going to fix. So we have to do the exact thing we have done here in the history component. So what we can do is, first we have to change this particular image. Come back here in the subscription, open this one, and we have to change the image. So here it's only logo, we have to say logo / icon. So this will display the image. Now we have to display the you can see this is the changes. We have to change the icons in all the places. Now we have to come here in the model, we have done in the history help, we have to do the changes in the help component as well. So make sure to change in all the places. So we have to change in the subscription setting and the help. You can see the image is displaying in all the three components. So if you go back to the history, it's there. If you go back to the subscription, it's there. But still we have a problem in the icon, which we're gonna fix it. And help is also displaying the icon. So do one thing, we can come here in the history, and here from here we can do one thing, we can simply get the class. So first thing we have to do is to get this entire class. So this is the class name you have to get, because we made a mistake. Come back in the help component, and if you look at here we have the issue. So it's toggler, we forgot to add the R. Okay, let's bring it back and come here and simply copy this one, and we have to simply paste here. It's toggler, toggler, and that will fix the issue. And do the same thing from all the buttons in all the complete subscriptions, and we have to do the same thing in the setting as well. And this will display our color and the icon. Simply reload the browser, and here we are. Now click on this help. The icon is not displaying because we are not calling the icon. So here we have the icon. Come back to the history and simply grab this icon. But before we do that, we need the icon to import. So come back here and import in all the component. Do the same thing in the subscription and in the setting, and now we can simply call the icon component. So simply grab this one, come back to the help, and we have to simply remove this, paste here. Do the same thing in the subscription, remove this and paste here, and setting as well, remove it and paste here. If you save, you can see we have the icon displaying in all the components. It looks fine. Upgrades, settings, you can click and you can open, and that looks good. We have no issues so far, things are looking beautiful. Okay, close this one, and that looks good. We have no issues. Now let's test this out. This is the issue we have in the last time. So if I do the inspect element, let's come back to the local storage. So this is where we left. Right now we have this empty object stored, and this will be stored every time the browser will load the information. Right now this user have not taken the plan, that's why it's empty, everything is 0. And this is the theme which you don't need to worry about that. And here we have this user detail which we have to update. So we can come back in the VS Code, and here you can see that. So whenever this page will reload, we'll try to fetch the information from the local storage, and we are setting in our user. But here you have to do the changes. So what I have found that this is absolutely fine. This is absolutely fine. So first we have to store the data in two places. One data from the local storage, and that will store as a user information. And we have to take another variable in that we have to store the data. So let me show you what I mean by that. So this is the data. The problem I had earlier, because I was calling this set user, but we don't need to call the set user. We have to call the set user new, because user try to update their information. Simply remove that, and that will fix the issue. And here you have to simply comment out this window location reload, and here we have to do the changes. So earlier it was in the small d, you have to make it capital D, user detail. So this is the one change you have to do. If you come back to the context, and here you have to do the same changes. So it will be user detail with a capital. So if you reload the browser, and if you go to this application right now, simply remove all of this information and come back to the settings. And now let's try to update the information. So let's say Daulat Hussain, and this will be the blockchain code. If you click on that, you can see the data is got updated, but the password and the confirm password is nothing there. So we can simply update that as well. So we can come here and we can simply update the password. We'll say password 1234 1234, and simply click on the update password, and this will update the password, and that will be good. We have no issues so far. I hope you guys can appreciate. Things are looking pretty good. We have built the entire component. Now the only thing we have to do is we have to simply connect the functionality of our OpenAI, and user can start using our application. So that looks good. I have no issues so far. Things are looking good to me. And that's the only thing I want to cover in this video. I don't want to extend this video. In the next video, we're going to attach the functionality, and after that we're going to build our landing page, and that's going to be the last video. So hope this entire thing makes sense to all of you guys. If you guys have encountered any error, make sure to rewatch the video, try to fix that, because you guys can see that everything is working fine from my end. So just try to rewatch and try to fix those all the small changes we have done. And with that, let's move to the next video.